Okay, check this out. I will ask Claude to build a KeeperHub workflow that monitors my USDS balance and deposits anything above 100 USDS into savings USDS every day. Press enter, and what will happen here is, well, first of all, let me open up this task so we can follow it along. It will connect to KeeperHub's MCP plugin, and we'll go ahead and actually create this workflow. So let's monitor it. You can see here which wallet address should I use for monitoring USDS balance and depositing into sUSDS. We'll use a placeholder. Ethereum mainnet. Should the workflow notify you when it deposits? Yes, via email, please. Okay, perfect. So we can see here that the workflow is now live, and it even provides us a summary here of what has been deployed. So obviously daily USDS is requested to savings USDS auto deposit. It gives me the workflow ID for KeeperHub. The workflow runs daily at 9 a.m. And yeah, so before you enable this, an important factor here, you should change the placeholder wallet address and also the placeholder email. So without further ado, let's actually jump into the platform here. I'm just going to press refresh as this is an early test that I did. And there we go. Daily USDS to sUSDS auto deposit. We have the trigger here, which runs every day at 9 a.m. ET. Then we have the check USDS balance and change your address here. You can choose from one of your saved addresses or a third one. Calculate excess, so it will calculate if the balance exceeds 100 USDS. And obviously if that's true, then we want to approve the USDS spend and deposit into the savings USDS. And finally, obviously, email notification here, where you can then go ahead and obviously put look at keeperhub.com, and you can decide to have a subject and even link back to the balance so that you can see if there's any leftover, or, you know, perhaps if it didn't complete, then you can also see, okay, we're at 85. This is what the balance is. So this was extremely easy. You know, no time did I actually touch the KeeperHub interface in order to create this. This is what it looks like when an AI agent interacts with KeeperHub autonomously. Obviously, we did prompt it this time, but you can also then link it up to various different agent frameworks that can then communicate with the KeeperHub interface in order to use KeeperHub as this reliability and execution layer for executing your various different DeFi strategies, yield optimizing workflows, you name it, in a sort of more reliable sort of way, and also consider it being like kind of the last mile between the agent detecting and deciding something, but then actually making sure that that decision is also executed on chain. In order to get this up and running and set up in your environment, what you want to do is you want to head over to our docs page, where you can find all the sort of tutorials and material needed in order to familiarize yourself with how to download the plugin. So basically the MCP server connection to match up against what LM model that you are using, so that you can have your agents interact with KeeperHub and execute various different strategies for you. Another thing I want to spend some time on in this video is if I head back into the app here, and we have the workflow that was created. Now, this was, you know, still a rather, it's like a very useful sort of DeFi strategy that makes sense instead of just, you know, having unrealized gains by just kind of having your USDS just raking no sort of yield whatsoever. We automate that and have that kind of transferred over to the savings account. But this is, at the end of the day, still rather basic use case. What we are adding currently is the ability to then actually go ahead and, well, we already know that we can share them to the community workflows, which I highly recommend doing. But you can also go ahead and list these workflows. So we're in the process now of having our workflows be discoverable as strategies on ERC 8004 registry. This is the Ethereum registry where agents can then search for and pay using X402 or MPP for a automated service. Here you can then set the price per call so that you have that available. And what that means is you have an agent that then goes to the ERC registry. It looks for, okay, I want to do a DeFi strategy that optimizes my yield. You'll be able to link up to the MCP of KeeperHub and look through the listed workflows that are available. And it will also then look at the reputation registry and see any of these workflows that have been run and executed and have succeeded. Then it will be able to be like, all right, this looks like the most ideal workflow that matches the use case that I had in mind. And then it will be able to run that workflow. And it even looks at the price that has been set by the creator, which is you. And it decides, all right, this is a valuable and this price makes sense. I want to go ahead and execute it. And you as a creator then gets a price per call that will be paid out in USDC. Now, this is still in development, but you will actually be able to see the UI and the UX available just to kind of give you an introduction to it. And if you then become like this creator and start creating various different DeFi strategies across various different protocols and chains, all of a sudden you'll be able to rake up a lot of money, a lot of earnings. And that's why we have this earnings section here where you'll have all your listed workflows listed in one, sort of dashboard. You can see how much they've accumulated in revenue over time and be able to maintain and monitor that accordingly. So follow this space. This is going to be a huge part of KeeperHub, being able to actually really and truly being that execution layer behind the scenes, not necessarily the UI or the front end of it all, but the back end of it all, making sure that we have retries, we have gas logic in place, we have MEV protection. All of this is also, as we've spoken about, fully auditable in case you want all the runs of your different workflows. It's also SLA backed, so being able to add that security layer to an otherwise pretty volatile industry, which is AI agents, especially in DeFi and Web3, being able to add a little bit more protection layer so that the agents don't just act, in a complete rogue manner. So that was it for today's video. I'm just going to keep it short and sweet. I highly recommend that you get the MCP plugin, try test it out, have it deployed into KeeperHub, try run it, and then also start looking into, all right, what could be some DeFi strategies that you would want to list to the community, and then potentially you'll start earning on them. As mentioned, that is a feature that we are about to release, but you can already start listing the workflow so that you are ready upon launch day. Well, again, thank you very much for listening. Keep the questions coming. And if you have any feedback or anything you'd like to see in future videos or tutorials, let me know. I'm all ears.